Do is you're going to go down to the right angle valve, and one of the number one problems with the right angle valve is, again, did the valve itself seat? So you want to go ahead, open up the valve completely, and then you're going to want to go ahead and reseat the valve. And again, reseating the valve, remember this is a hand tight valve. Okay, the valve is continuing to leak. Okay, so now the second thing we're going to do is that we've tried to hand tighten the valve, but maybe the valve is rusted or has some corrosion. So we're going to go ahead is place this device on top of the valve wheel, and then we're going to use the crescent wrench, and we're going to open up the valve again, and then we're going to go ahead and reseat the valve. And again, remember guys, this is a hand tight valve. Okay. Come over to your 6A hood and put the gasket onto the hood. Remove the cap that goes to the relief valve, so it normally is on like this. Remove that, and then use the specific wrench that goes with it and open up the valve completely. While I'm doing that, have your partner remove all rust, grime, dirt, and paint so that we get a firm surface to put the 6A hood on there. Next, we're going to go ahead and hand it to your partner, and he's going to go ahead and put that down on the angle valve. And he's going to angle this in a way that you can get the wrench around there. Next, we're going to go ahead and put the yoke assembly on. It fits down through these holes. One of you should be holding the yoke in place while the other screws the dimple or the tensioning bolt down onto the dimple until it's firm, not tight. Okay, that's good. Next, we're going to take these 11 E bolts and we're going to screw them down to stabilize it out. And then the last thing we're going to do is take the 11C wrench thing here and just hand tight, make it tight. You don't want to go too tight, you'll cut the gasket. Okay, the last thing we're going to go ahead and do is shut the valve off and then put the cap back on, and then reach over and grab your ammonia bottle and spray everything to see if you get any white vapor to confirm that you've sealed your loop. Put the gasket on, and then you're going to go ahead and remove the cap to the valve and then open up the valve completely. Before you put the capping kit on, you're going to go ahead and use your putty knife, and you are going to remove any dirt, rust, grime, paint, so that you have a good sealing surface to put the capping kit on. Then from there, you're going to go ahead and lower down the capping kit onto the valve itself. And then you would go ahead and put the yoke assembly on next. We're not going to go ahead and do that. And then we would go ahead and close the valve, put a cap on this. The last thing I want to kind of close with this demonstration is to remind all of you is that when you put a capping kit on a pressure relief device, it can no longer vent itself, and now you are sort of forming a bond because there's no other way that that pressure can get out of the tank. So the one thing that we've all learned through training through the railroads recently is that when you put a capping kit onto any one of these valves, or specifically on a pressure relief device, you need to have a gauging device to know how many PSI are being built up onto that tank. So again, a lot of caution really goes to not necessarily the right angle valves, but to a pressure relief device that is no longer functioning correctly and that you're essentially disabling.